First responders finding Victoria's body dismembered, burned, and wrapped in a blanket. 3 people arrested and charged with child abuse: Michelle Martins, her boyfriend Fabian Gonzalez, and his cousin Jessica Kelly. The 3 claim there was a 4th suspect.
The apartment building at the edge of Albuquerque smelled faintly of smoke, but the officers didn't yet know how bad it would get. The 911 call had been standard, domestic dispute, but by the time they reached the second-story unit, the air had thickened with something far more sinister. Behind the bathroom door, smoke curled into the hallway, smelling acrid and heavy. When the door was pushed open, the sight that met them was incomprehensible. A small body, partially wrapped in a blanket, burning at the edges. Victoria Martins, 10 years old, had died in the most horrific manner imaginable. Her mother, Michelle Martins, her boyfriend Fabian Gonzalez, and Fabian's cousin Jessica Kelly, all adults in the apartment, were taken into custody immediately. It was August 24, 2016, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a city not unaccustomed to crime, but nothing in its recent history matched the brutality waiting inside that apartment. Victoria Martins had been born exactly 10 years earlier, on August 23, 2006. That night, she should have been celebrating her birthday with balloons, cake, maybe friends from school. Instead, she became the victim of a crime so calculated, so violent, that it would shock not just the community, but the nation. The circumstances surrounding her death were immediately disturbing, with layers of abuse, neglect, and systemic failure revealed as investigators dug deeper. Victoria's mother, Michelle, had no criminal record in New Mexico. On paper, she appeared to be an ordinary adult, but investigators would uncover a history of alarming behavior, including online activity that indicated she sought men to engage in sexual acts with her children while she allegedly watched. Fabian Gonzalez, 31, had entered Michelle's life via an online dating platform just a month before Victoria's death. Jessica Kelly had been released from prison only 4 days prior to the incident. Their histories were pieces of a puzzle that would explain some of the dysfunction, but not the full horror. Neighbors reported seeing Kelly carrying Victoria into the apartment around 10 p.m. on August 23rd. Later, screams rang out, piercing the quiet of the building. By 4:30 a.m. the next morning, Michelle Martins and Fabian Gonzalez exited the apartment, telling neighbors that Kelly had attacked them with an iron. It was a story that didn't quite fit with what officers would find inside. When police finally entered, Victoria's body was discovered dismembered, partially wrapped in a burning blanket, a small figure at the center of unimaginable violence. The autopsy later revealed the extent of the horror. Victoria had been sexually assaulted, strangled, stabbed, and dismembered. Evidence suggested she had been given alcohol and methamphetamine by her mother, ostensibly to calm her down for sexual acts with Gonzalez and Kelly, though this statement was later recanted and no drugs were ultimately found in her system. Investigators determined Victoria died between 7:45 and 8:30 p.m. on her 10th birthday. Every aspect of her final hours reflected a combination of premeditation, opportunistic violence, and extreme neglect. The build-up to that night began long before Victoria's death. The New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department had received 5 calls concerning the Martins household starting in 2015. Most of these calls came from Michelle herself. The reasons ranged from minor incidents to allegations of abuse and neglect. Despite repeated warnings, no substantial intervention occurred. Victoria attended Petroglyph Elementary School in Albuquerque, a rare constant in a home filled with red flags. Teachers and classmates would later describe her as quiet, bright, and eager to please, unaware of the danger looming at home. Michelle Martins met Fabian Gonzalez online on a dating site, roughly a month before the murder. Their relationship quickly introduced a volatile influence into Victoria's life. Jessica Kelly, recently released from prison, became part of the household dynamic almost immediately. Witnesses and investigators would later describe the environment as one of fear, coercion, and chaos, where a child's safety was actively disregarded. On the night of August 23rd, every action taken by the adults in the apartment compounded the terror. Kelly carried Victoria to the apartment. Michelle and Fabian engaged in behavior that drew suspicion from neighbors and, later, law enforcement. By early morning, the crime scene had become a scene of devastation. Victoria's body, burned and dismembered, reflected both the brutality of the act and the failure of the adults charged with her care. When police arrived, the response was immediate. Michelle Martins, Fabian Gonzalez, and Jessica Kelly were all arrested and charged with first-degree murder, child abuse resulting in grievous bodily harm or death, kidnapping, tampering with evidence, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The bond for each was set at $1 million, cash only. Court proceedings were complex, with prosecutors initially attempting to try them together, but ultimately moving for separate trials. Michelle Martins eventually pled guilty to 1 count of child abuse, resulting in death on June 29, 2018, as part of a plea bargain. The announcement of her plea coincided with the revelation that DNA evidence suggested a 4th, unidentified male may have been involved. Fabian Gonzalez and Jessica Kelly's trials were postponed multiple times. Gonzalez would eventually be convicted of reckless child abuse, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy to tamper with evidence, receiving a sentence of 37.5 years. Kelly, after agreeing to testify against Gonzalez as part of a plea deal, was sentenced to 44 years in prison, but was expected to serve less than half of her sentence. Michelle Martins was released from prison on October 14, 2025, after serving her 12-year term. The investigation highlighted not just the crime, but systemic failures. The Albuquerque Police Department had received prior referrals about the household, but failed to investigate adequately. Officers and spokespersons misrepresented the facts to the press. An internal investigation by the Civilian Police Oversight Agency found misleading statements and procedural lapses, including the reduction of a suspension from 2 weeks to a single day for a police spokesperson who had lied about the department's actions. Public reaction was immediate and visceral. Albuquerque Mayor Richard Berry tweeted his heartbreak, and Governor Susana Martinez called for a federal investigation. Memorials and a public funeral attempted to honor Victoria's short life, but the horror of the crime and the perceived failures of both family and authorities left a permanent scar on the community. The psychological complexity of this case is staggering. Michelle Martins' conflicting statements, Fabian Gonzalez's rapid integration into a vulnerable household, Jessica Kelly's recent criminal history, and the possibility of a 4th perpetrator all combined to create a night of unimaginable terror. The interplay of human malice, opportunism, and neglect made Victoria's death both preventable and horrifyingly inevitable once those factors converged. Victoria Martins' story is not just a story of death, it is a study of systemic failure, predatory relationships, and the most extreme breach of trust imaginable. Her final hours were marked by cruelty, deception, and violence at the hands of those meant to protect her. Each actor in the narrative, whether through direct action or negligence, played a role in the culmination of the crime. Even after arrests and convictions, unanswered questions remain. The unidentified 4th suspect suggested by DNA evidence indicates that the full scope of Victoria's tragedy may never be fully known. Systemic reforms, criminal penalties, and societal attention provide partial closure, but the absence of complete resolution perpetuates the unease surrounding the case. The legacy of Victoria Martins is one of remembrance, shock, and reflection. Her 10th birthday, intended to be a celebration of life, became the epicenter of a crime that will echo in Albuquerque for decades. Every warning ignored, every oversight uncorrected, contributed to the destruction of a child's life. Victoria's story is a chilling reminder of the extremes of human depravity and systemic failure. Her name is a warning, her death a testament to the cost of inaction. The city mourned, the courts acted, but the emptiness left behind can never be filled. In the shadows of Albuquerque, the questions remain. Who else was involved? How could so many warning signs go unheeded? And most importantly, what might have been done to protect a little girl who had every right to celebrate her birthday in safety, not horror?